You're listening to a Comics XF podcast.
X-Men. Get it!
Hey everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Battle of the Atom. This is your weekly X-Men podcast where we rank every story from A to Z.
I'm Adam.
And I'm the werewolf that lives inside of Zach. You can call me Zach, though. It's okay.
Werewolf Zach.
Yeah, what's up? Again, just call me Zach.
A.K.A. Zach,
host of the best X-Men podcast. We know this.
Yeah. How is it?
Boy of X-Men podcast. Bad boy host of the best X-Men podcast.
It's hard to get all of your superlatives.
There's so many.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Esquire, the third.
I'm not an Esquire. Reverend, yes. Have we talked about this on the show?
Yes.
I'm sure it's been like 7 years. I'm sure it's come up.
Does being a werewolf as Zach affect being a dad to Zach's kids?
Yes.
Like, how's that work?
As you know, werewolves eat their young.
Oh,
so that's
a problem.
Yeah, it's why that little amazing baby got rescued. I think I may have to text Leah about that and see if that's the reason. I don't know. I'm not in the loop on that specific thing. I don't know. But to answer your question, yes, it drastically impacts it. I have no idea what's going on. It's really ruining this family and tearing things apart.
So you were happy to send them off to school today?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. For folks who are saying it's August, remember, it's even earlier when we're recording these.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But
my kid doesn't go back to school till after Labor Day. So,
yeah, well,
you guys are really early.
I'm not on the school board. I don't make these decisions.
No werewolves on the school board.
Nope. No PTA, no school board, none of that crap. Local government, get out of here. No important decisions are made there.
Well, you're a dad. I'm a dad. It's not Father's Day, but we are talking about a very specific X-Men dad this week, and that is Cyclops.
Cyclops. And here's the thing about Cyclops, and we'll talk about this in this episode.
Yeah.
I feel like Cyclops is legally a dad in the same way so many are.
A dad.
Many such cases of legally dadship.
Sure.
But do you know why we're talking about Cyclops and his legal dadship?
We are doing a listener request from our Patreon, Zach, who requested Cyclops is a dad as the theme for this week.
I don't remember if they actually requested Cyclops is a dad or not. I'd have to look at DMs, and brother, that's a lot to do. I'd have to open up the patreon.com/BattleTheAtom, reach deep down into the DMs folder, search what is probably a fairly recent DM, and take a look and figure out what Alexander Lundquist specifically requested. If it was just the first comic, or if it was Cyclops being a dad. Honestly, it escapes the memory.
Well, sometimes, we get a request for a certain issue or issues, and we build the theme out of that. And sometimes I think we did a really good job, chef's kiss, with the theming this week.
I think the theming was fantastic. So the thing that we should do is thank Patreon supporter Alexander Lundquist. If you want to be like Alexander, you can head on over to patreon.com/BattleTheAtom, reach deep down into your hearts and pocketbooks, and toss a couple of coins right into our coffers. At the $5 a month level, we'll make an entire episode around a theme of your choice. It can be silly, it can be stupid, it can be great. I'm ambivalent.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
We like creative ideas.
We've been doing this for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
The more things that force us to say, can we actually build an episode around this? That becomes a fun little challenge for me and Adam sometimes. And sometimes we say, no, that's not X-Men related. And then other times we're like, there's gotta be a way.
We
There's
must
gotta
be able to figure this out, and we do.
There's at least 3. There's at least 3 in this long running series. And there are at least 3 stories where Cyclops is a dad. The first one, and I'm pretty sure the one that was requested, but again, I'd have to look at the DMs. I don't know. Alexander, I'm very sorry if all of this is confusing to you personally, to everyone else listening. I don't know, man. This show's me and Adam hanging out. It's X-Men number 1 and 2 by Jonathan Hickman and Leinil Francis Yu. This is the dawn of X.
Yeah, this is X-Men Volume 5, aka maybe Uncanny X-Men, because they can't figure out legacy numbering.
Shut up. No, here's the thing. We've talked about this. We've talked about this, and I'll talk about it one more time. It does, and I cannot emphasize this enough, it does say Legacy 645 on the cover of this.
Yes.
And I do want to point out that the moment that came out, Jonathan Hickman said, no, that's a mistake. That's wrong. They screwed that one up. They messed that one up, guys. I don't know what to tell you. And they messed it up so good that it's not on the second printing.
That's right.
Just saying.
That's right.
It was an error. It was a mistake that they made because Jonathan Hickman, God bless his soul, his mind is wired like mine, a small amount where he's like, that's not right. We have the numbers. We know what numbers are. This can't be it.
And he was right.
Jonathan Hickman's been right more than once. Jonathan Hickman, a guy that notoriously I said wasn't going to be a good fit for X-Men at one point in my life, has been right about a lot of things, including saying to people who were like ambivalent about his X-Men stuff, he said, you don't trust me? Watch me work. Boom. Mic drop. That dude. Love that man. Love that guy so much. He's my dude. He's my bro. I don't need to hang out with him. Like I don't need to interview Jonathan Hickman, but he's my bro and I like Jonathan Hickman. He's a dude. And buddy, Cyclops is a dude in this comic, dude.
He's a dad dude, and he is, we get a little flashback with Professor X at the very beginning when he gets his first pair of ruby quartz glasses.
A good, very humanizing and contextualizing moment for all of this.
But, we're going to get some fighting Orcus. We're going to get some family summer's dinner on the moon. We're going to get some adjoining bedrooms.
We're going to talk about all those things.
We're going to get
part of this episode is we're going to dig into it.
We're going to get a hunting party with Scott, Rachel, and Teen Cable, and they get to meet the Summoner. Like, this is all happening in 2 issues, and it's great.
Let's talk about this. Hickman loves to do a series of one-shots, setting up things in dominoes that he will later knock down.
Sure.
The man adores it. And by adores it, I mean it's happened 3 times. It's happened on FM, it happened on Avengers, it happened on X-Men. And I get it. How many long comic book runs on major IP are you going to have? He also did that on Gods. He did that on Gods, which people didn't seem to like. I want to reread Gods because I remember enjoying it at the time and being like, me and you having conversations about just general like, it's not X-Men. But I feel like now with fresh eyes, we could go and read Gods and I'd be like, see, Adam, I told you it was pretty good. And you'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, it wasn't for me, but I mean, we have friends who absolutely loved that book. So I
think your hate was clouding your vision.
It's not for me to say. I don't know. Anyway, just do appreciate how many things are being seeded here from, Orcus and Nimrod to
Children of the Vault.
People. Yeah. Children of the Vault is right here at the beginning. The idea of little kids kind of like worshiping Magneto as a godlike figure. He's a
hero. He's a hero.
Yeah.
He's the superhero.
Yeah. There's just a ton of stuff happening here. And the idea that the summer house is in the blue area of the moon and is not on Krakoa.
It's next to the blue area of the moon.
Yeah, but and it's not on the island, and Cyclops has the whole Summers family there. It's just, I love this idea that, we can take the larger view of what this entire branch of characters is and could be, and do something sort of sitcom-y like this with it, and it still works. It's very funny.
It's funny,
it's
but it is also emotionally impacting.
Yes.
The thing is, I don't always appreciate that Jonathan Hickman also likes to do a joke. But when Orcus turns themselves into apes to fight the X-Men, and then Cyclops says, "On your right, be careful. They're sure to be savvy. All these apes have PhDs."
It's pretty funny.
That's funny. If that wasn't the clear sign that, guys, we're gonna have some fun here.
Yeah.
Like, we know that Hoxpox was a little heavy for about 12 weeks, but we're having fun now. We got the big dramatic setup, and yes, some of that was a little grandiose because we have grandiose plans, but it is an immediate and important reminder that, hey, these are kind of stupid superhero books, so we're gonna have fun with them too.
Yeah,
we are gonna turn people into ape scientists, and they're gonna be recurring characters.
I love all of the stuff with Teen Cable. Teen Cable is like comparing guns with Raza, and then in the second issue is like, "Oh, I have a gift for the summoner." Like, what'd you give him? A thermal grenade. It's so funny.
I will say, I am not as sold on Hickman's Teen Cable as Jerry's. Yes,
yeah, it's not quite the same, but it's in the same ballpark.
I feel like, so they didn't know what to do with Teen Cable for a bit. That's just like what was going on with X-Men, and by they didn't, I actually think Ed Brisson, like, his Cable from X-Force was very much, I am Cable that you know, but younger.
Yes.
And a little more brash.
Yeah.
And then Hickman writes him as stupid.
Kind of.
And we're not talking about Fallen Angels because we want us all to have a good time. But we have a different version of Cable as a teen also there. And it does take until Jerry Duggan sits down and said, hey, we are going to lean into the fact that he is Cable and also blend in emphasize but he is still a teen.
Yeah. He's a goofy teen.
Bit more.
Yep.
That finds a really good balance. But I think Hickman's writing of Cable is a little broad for me personally.
I just think that given the cast here and the short interactions that we have, a little burst of Vulcan humor here, Cyclops promising Rachel that they're all going to go on a Summers family vacation. The idea that this convoluted family that includes a space pirate, an intergalactic lost brother, a son who's now back to teenage, a daughter who's from the future, and Wolverine, is great. It's great to see all of them in one room and enjoying each other's company.
Can I tell you how much confidence they had that Hoxpox was going to be the biggest thing ever?
What do you think?
That on page 22 on the Marvel Unlimited app of X-Men #1, they are already homaging House of X #1.
Oh, yeah.
Leinil Francis Yu is literally drawing Cyclops in the "You have new gods now"
Yep.
pose.
Yeah.
Saying something else grandiose with the same coloring. Like, it is very much a, called shot, no, we know what's going on this. And it is, there is, rereading this, there is something special here. There really is. These are special comics, especially for X-Men things.
They're just such big world building things. And no piece of this is more evident of just how earth shattering something very minuscule could be than the graphic of the Summers house that revealed the adjoining bedrooms of Cyclops.
You thought we were being normal about data pages before during Hoxpox when I wrote a book? I did it a book.
You didn't write it. You edited it.
I did not do the bulk of the writing. I did contribute a non-insubstantial amount of the writing. And it's the parts that are in brackets that says end note and jokes. But like, no, okay. So let's just talk about this for a second, because about a year ago there was some controversy about, well, they're erasing this. Now, I will agree that on the page, if you are someone who, how do I want to say, is stupid and can't read the most blatant subtext that is happening in the world, you could say that, well, it doesn't seem like, based on these two issues, that Wolverine and Cyclops and Jean are in an open relationship. It's just that you have to be someone who has only ever read superhero comics and Marvel movies and has never been asked to extrapolate from very obvious amounts of data, like stuff that is barely subtextual, to the point that in the second issue of this, Cyclops says, to simplify things, yes, I love a single someone, with bold emphasis. I'm sorry. Don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. Don't say I'm stupid for something that folks, I just want to be clear. I have a broken gaydar. I have had more than 4 friends who I've been like, oh, you're queer? You're trans? You're something? And they were like, yeah, Zach, everyone knew. We thought you knew. I was like, it didn't come up. It's not a big deal. But that's happened more times than I'm comfortable with, frankly. And if I can pick up on this, folks, this is not hidden information.
No,
this is
more about as blunt
than Mystique and Destiny. Like,
yeah. And you know, I mean, this paired with the X-Force scene where Jean and Wolverine have sex in a hot tub. I mean, come on.
That everyone was in multiple relationships through this whole thing, and that was both a explicit artistic choice by the creative teams, and they have gone publicly and said that's what they were doing.
Yes.
And the fact that I can read. Those two things together.
Yeah. Yep. So the idea that this was controversial at all at the time, I think is silly. I mean, it was hinted at in Hoxpox as well, and I just love that it's
I'll say in Hoxpox, I remember those 12 weeks very explicitly. We were very like, I'm picking up something here, and we could be reading into this too much. And then they put this in front of you, and there's a graphic, and it says, hey, it's friggin' weird that they would all have conjoining bedrooms, right?
And no one else does.
And no one else has. This is not an architectural choice.
Nope.
It's just like,
it's great.
And I get it that in practice, I'll be clear, in practice, nothing really comes of it. Like, it is not something that is an ongoing concern for the narrative of the next 5+ years of X-Men. But like, look,
but it adds dimension to the world building of who these characters are.
I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. I've spoken about Jonathan Hickman's X-Men work enough for a lifetime. I will let Adam, my co-host, my good friend and partner on this journey, I'll let you finish.
No, it's just, you know, they're in this situation where they can be in the most ideal configuration that they would like to be. And here we have the Summers house. It is the Summers family, and this is part of that unit. And what's so confusing about it? It's not. And I think it does add to the dimensionality of like who these characters are and what their actions are as they go through, because it shows what they value and who they value.
But I'm not going to say, I know there's some people that get really hung up on like, oh, the sex and sexuality and the relationship side of X-Men, and that's soapy drama. And I'm not one of those people. Do you know what I want in my X-Men, Adam?
What do you want, Zach?
I want islands fucking.
Well, that's on there too, because we've got the first appearance of Ayako, and they're intertwining. It's a great shot.
We
When they're
do
like,
get
what are they doing? Oh, don't look, son. You know, I mean, it's such a great.
there is. Hold on, I am looking. There is full penetration on these pages, like
It's in,
full
it's
pistol semen penetration on this.
sure.
I mean,
But you know, that's what's happening. You know, we got these two islands that are coming back together.
that's. I will say, I think the Araco stuff geographically is a little confusing because we're like, yeah, Araco, it was the severed land. We learned this from, and then wait, there's a piece of this severed land that I guess there's a teleporting volcano. I think there's a few things about Summoner and that whole deal that are intentionally left unclear.
Yes.
But then I feel like
I don't know if it all lines up, but that's okay because we're just seeding stuff that's going to. And it's fun to go back to this and see how Summoner is drawn a little bit differently than he will be, you know, in subsequent appearances. It's
little
just,
bit, but he's still Jonathan's white person.
Yes.
Jonathan loves a weird white twink.
Yes.
In all of his comics. That's in East of West. That's in Gods.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like it's in Avengers. It's a thing he likes to draw or not draw, but put into comics. I get the vibe. It's a startling design. I do think that do you know what's one weird plot thread that looking back on this, I realized that they kind of didn't develop this as much as they probably could have with all of the Krakoa stuff.
Well, there's the implication of Storm being kind of out of it at one point, and I feel like that seeds into what he's going to try and do with Giant Size, and then that gets dropped. There's testing of the waters here of certain things. What's the one you're thinking of?
There's a lot of just like sci-fi monsters hanging out around Krakoa.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That gets emphasized in this. That got emphasized in X-Force and like a couple other places. And that's just, I get that that's calling back to Giant Size #1, but like that doesn't go anywhere. And I kind of wish it did because I like it when there's like, hey, also we got some weird monsters here we don't know what to do with. Trouble in Paradise, people.
Yeah, could have been fun. But I think overall, I mean, I remember when these were coming out and I was just delighted. You know, this is just a really good time and an extension of, you know, here's a mission statement of here's where we're going to go with this after this enormous statement of Hoxpox. So I think we should try and rank this on our big old list, Zach.
I think we should try and rank this on our big old list. Because the thing is, for folks who have not been paying attention to the podcast, we rank every X-Men story from best to worst, with the best story being the House of X, the Powers of 10. The 250th story being Uncanny X-Men 217-218, Dazzler versus Juggernaut. The 500th story being some stuff that happens at the end of Age of X, or after Age of X, I guess, in X-Men Legacy. 750 being Ultimate Comics X-Men 13 through 18, Divided We Fall, United We Stand. 1000 being Apocalypse the 12. And the worst X-Men comic of all time, the 1062nd comic that we've ranked, 2099 World of Tomorrow. Okay, here's the thing.
Yep.
What's at 100? Let's just start. Like we know where the Dawn of X stuff goes.
Let's just get this out of the way because we've got 3 X-Men Volume 5 arcs or individual issues in the top 100. So at 121, we have 10 to 11, which is the Empire tie-in issues.
It's better than the Empire tie-in issues.
Up at 84, we have Global Economics, which is number 4.
It's worse than Global Economics.
And at 12, we have number 7, which is The Crucible. I would say it goes in between 4 and 10 and 11.
Yes. You are in the right ballpark here. Okay, wait. Let's see. Oh, wait. We also have... Okay, we have X-Men number 6. I Want My Wife Back at 87.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let me format that differently. V5. There we go. Okay. I think this is better than I Want My Wife Back.
I think this is better. The Leinil Francis U art helps push it over over the edge. There's a little more meat on these bones here. I would say that
I honestly would slot it right above that.
Yeah, right below that.
Or right above Dark Iceman. Astonishing X-Men 62.
I just went to bat. Okay, so between those comics, just so you're here, 84 is Global Economics. That's the time they go to Davos. 85 is Magic Board Nights, which we just re-ranking. And 86 is Dark Iceman from Astonishing X-Men.
I would put this ahead of Madripoor Nights.
Okay, I'm fine with that, actually.
I think it's doing more. It's not as good as Global Economics, but it's doing more.
Man, it's just... Are we little biased? No, because we just like these ones. These are good ones. I'm sorry. To the haters of the Krakoa stuff out there, I don't know, man. You probably aren't listening to this podcast. Like, just law of large numbers. Our number one story is House of X Powers of 10. If you're a hater of Krakoa, we probably don't have a great taste. That doesn't mean we can't be friends. It just means you probably don't want to listen to me and Adam talk for an hour a week.
Well, maybe you're a big fan of, the 90s X-Men.
Which we also like.
You might enjoy this next story, which I enjoyed very much. This is Uncanny X-Men number 310. This is Cable teaming up with Cyclops against the Executioner.
I always thought the Executioner was a bigger deal than he is because he was featured prominently in that DK guide to the X-Men as other 90s ads. No, he's bad. The Executioner is stupid and dumb.
I appreciate that, just like that Generation X story that we just recently talked about with him in it, this issue also treats him as a punchline for Scott and Cable. I mean, for Scott and Nathan to just kick the crap out of, and I appreciate that.
Because he's being written by Scott Lobdell, the guy who created him. So it's like, he's in on it. But he's in on it, but it doesn't seem like Marvel's marketing department or the people reading it are in on it because they're like, Executioner, great new villain.
Yeah.
Let's keep putting him in things. He was the guy from the trading cards that came back. Him and Adam X. Yeah. The funny thing, Adam X, objectively a funnier character to make fun of, one that Fabian Nicieza likes better than Scott Lobdell likes the Executioner.
It's very true.
Papa Fabes is being serious with him. Lobdell, he's like, oh, look at this weirdo that I made up.
I really like this issue. This is Cyclops's, it's supposed to be his bachelor's party, which not very creative to just go to Harry's hideaway and have drinks, huh? Like, this is all.
Oh, hold on. Here's what I'll say. Adam, if you are Scott's best man, what are you not planning a bachelor party for the boys, planning a bachelor party for your friend Scott Summers, who feels socially obligated to hold a bachelor party, but does not want to?
Yeah.
What do you do for him? You go to the bar that he's most comfortable at.
That's true.
And you have a nice quiet night. Like, I actually like that they go to Harry's for this because that feels like what Scott would want. And they don't go to Harry's, actually. They go to, quote, a bar in Greenwich Village.
Oh, right.
So it is just a different bar.
It's not Harry's. It feels like it's Harry's.
They're just going to a bar in the city. So even better. Maybe like, Scott, we're not going to go to the same old bar. We're going to go to a different, nearly identical bar in the city. You have to take the train in, buddy.
Yeah, I just, for all of Lobdell's failings in life later, he really is cooking at this point in X-Men. He's got so many issues in this, this run around this era where he gets these great little character moments. And, I wanted to start by just saying like the bachelor party stuff where it's just these little, there's nothing super heroic about any of it. It's just little character moments that solidify who each one of these characters are, for good or for bad. And it's very funny. There is a really funny page where Bishop is talking yet again about the future and everybody just wants him to shut up about it. It's hilarious.
So help me if I hear one more word about the future. You don't live in the future, B. You live here and now. Let it go. It's getting tired, dude.
It's great. It's great.
That's an all-timer Bobby
Yeah.
move right there. Also on that page, they have Beast, Nightcrawler, and Angel, who's blue at the time, all standing next to each other.
All blue. It's great.
Next to Bobby, who can turn blue when he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. Why are all of Scott's friends blue? That's what I want to know.
Limited color palettes and color and page inking, page coloring. But recently, in publishing history, right before this, we got a definitive explanation of what everybody had already guessed way back. You know, in some cases, back to X Factor Endgame. For some of us reading, it was Executioner's Song. Everybody had figured out by this point that Cable was Cyclops' son that he had sent to the future at the end of Endgame, but they really spelled it out at a recent issue of Cable. And in this issue, Cable is like, he's kind of bitter, you know?
Cable's having a little bit of cat in the cradle and the silver spoon type times.
Yeah.
Something I think many can relate to. And he's taking it out on his dad. I would say Cable, not the most emotionally mature person. His IQ high, his EQ low. Because this is not the way to approach this conversation with your father, especially when you are a time traveler and could have done this. Like, at a certain point, phone goes both ways. And in fact, Cable, your phone is the one that can travel backwards in time, not Scott's. I'm going to say this one's a bit on you for being like, well, why haven't you reached out? Why'd you leave me, Dad? It's like bad timing, Cable. I get these are important questions that you and Scott do need to come to an understanding on.
Well, the issue begins with Cable basically playing a recreation of the end of X Factor Endgame in the Danger Room.
Incredibly rude move.
Yeah.
Like, that's, again, Cable's living for the drama right
now. Cyclops and Banshee are like, we got to get down there. There's an intruder. I love this era of JR. You know, he's
right. Like this is
it's not quite his Daredevil run, but it's that era of Cable, Blood and Metal where he's just like everybody's a rectangle and like Dan Green is just slapping those inks down in like giant slabs of black. And it's great.
The coloring hasn't gotten bad yet.
Yeah.
We are still almost to a point where coloring is going to be bad for about 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks great. And they have this really, I thought, kind of touching heart to heart where Cyclops is showing another version of what his reaction was after that event. And he's like torturing himself. You know, he's really broken up about it and doesn't know how to live with himself that he's lost his kid. And it starts to heal the rift between these two.
Because Cable, who I have to emphasize, is an old person now.
Yes. He's older than Cyclops.
He's able to say, okay, so maybe I wasn't giving his own interiority enough thought. And even though I intellectually understood that he was making a Sophie's Choice kind of decision here and there was no right answer for it, maybe I was letting my anger get away. Now, some people may be saying, but what about how Cyclops raised him in the future? Shut up. That wasn't written yet. They didn't know. Cable doesn't know that right now.
Hold on a sec. Both of them do kind of know, though. Not Cyclops, but Scott Lobdell actually drops a little bit of nugget of Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix into the text here when he says that I was actually raised by two people in the future. He actually hints at that upcoming mini, which I thought was a really interesting thing that I don't think
Okay, well then that makes Cable's reaction worse. I want to be clear, because Cable does know that, in fact, they went out of their way to raise him for 7 years in the future.
Well, hold on a sec. It is implied. It is implied via the dialogue here that he did not know that was Scott and Jean, but
Uh,
you know.
Did they? I have not read that comic long enough. I know they were going by Slim and Red in the future.
Slim and
Did
Red.
they?
I don't think
Did
they ever tell him that they're Cyclops.
Okay, never mind. I'm going back to Scott. You've made a mistake, a critical parenting mistake in fake fostering your own child. Scott,
I don't know. It's been a while since I've read that, so I could be wrong. But
I'm going to just say that it's ambiguous, but somebody has this knowledge and is making bad choices with it.
Yes.
One of the two of them is being pretty immature. And I'll say, I like when Scott is flawed and actually legitimately bad at parenting and being a husband and things like that. Like, I am not actually a fan of Wife Guy Cyclops. I think that sucks. I think that sucks a lot. And while I don't like how the stuff with Maddie went down, I think it adds a layer of complexity to the character that is more interesting to explore than him constantly saying, I love my wife and she's the strongest person in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So recently, I have become kind of like, I wouldn't call it obsessed, more like terrified by the events that transpire in the movie Field of Dreams. And one of the key
Speak on that.
Oh, I can't get into it right now. It'll be a half an hour of me just going off about how weird Field of Dreams is. But
I've never watched Field of Dreams, but I have watched more baseball in the last 2 weeks than
Zach.
I have in quite some time.
Zach, whatever you think Field of Dreams is about, you gotta watch it at some point because I gotta talk to you about how weird this movie is. Anyway, one of the key points of this movie is just how nice it is to reconnect with your long lost father and have a catch. And what I love about this is that Cable and Cyclops reunite so that, well, they don't have a catch, but they team up and kick the crap out of the executioner.
Have the summer's equivalent of a catch.
Yeah. It's so funny to me. I like this issue.
I like that. I like that Strife is not involved.
Nope.
I like that they. I like the artist for this. Like, I do think Romita is the right guy to be drawing this. That double page or that sideways page where it's Cyclops and Cable standing there like just absolute meatballs of men about to ruin Carl Executioner's day. Like, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good comic.
It's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as like the issue that came before this, which is
where's
Xavier flashback with Vote, and that is at 159.
It's at 159. Right below that is Scott and Jean's wedding. This is not as good as Scott and Jean's wedding,
which is also referenced in this issue because Cable is like, "Oh, I'm good enough to get an invite to your wedding, but y'all wasn't good enough to get raised by you." It's like, calm down, Cable.
Yeah, which I've got to say, Cable, at minimum, that's Cyclops being like, yeah, I'm reaching out to you, my dude. I get you probably have some complex feelings about it. There's a lot of books about parenting. There's not books about parenting with time travel. That's a weird one for me. There's a Trunks situation going on here, and I don't know how to deal with it. I've never watched or read or done any Dragon Ball things, but I do know that Cable, and Trunks are kind of the same dude, and that gives me no amount of like disappointment, only sheer joy. Like, apparently Trunks beat up a guy in front of his dad with a sword once.
Cool.
Not Trunks' dad, but I think Vegeta was there as well. But like the guy he beat him up in front of that guy's dad, and then beat up the dad.
Wow,
that's what I've learned about Trunks. This is Trunks Facts with Zach. That's one of the podcasts where I talk about one thing about Dragon Ball that I know. This is better than House of M at 197.
If we come up a little bit
of Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix.
Yeah, no, I think it is. I'm actually a little bit higher than you. How would you compare this to the first 4 issues of Kid Cable at 165?
Better. But right above that is Rogue and Gambit's date that happens almost the exact same time as this comic.
Yep.
And I think their date is a little better.
I think it's better. That's exactly where I wanted to put it, is at 165.
It's the right spot. 165 is the right spot. Hey,
Great.
like there is a magical moment where Scott Lobdell and Fabian Nicieza know what they're wanting to do.
Yeah.
And it lasts for no real amount of arcs, but for a handful of one-shot issues that are pretty good. And then
then it starts to fall apart.
If we could somehow channel their energies to never write more than 22 pages at a time.
Amazing. All right, so our new 165.
That would be Cyclops' bachelor party. But we got one more, Adam.
We sure do, because like a lot of kids do, they get up to hijinks, and we're going to talk about Dennis Hopeless and Salvador LaRocca's Cable and X-Force 6 to 8. Cable's getting into some hijinks because he sees the future.
So let's talk about the plot of this comic. If you've read, let's see, what is this about? If you've read the recent run of X-Force, it's the exact same plot, but this was a decade earlier.
Yeah, similar.
I mean, it's like, I don't want to be rude, but it's kind of the exact same plot, except for Dennis Hopeless, God bless him, is smart enough not to put Moses Magnum in things.
This is never ranked this book. No, we have.
No, we've talked about at least
the first arc of this book. Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm sorry, I was searching for it.
This is Dennis Hopeless in Salvador LaRocca. I want to get into the content of this, but the immediate reason why we're talking about this book is because of the cover to number 7. The cover to number 7 is an all red cover. Not Mike Allred, Salvador LaRocca, but it is all the color red, Rojo, with Cyclops standing there.
Clenching.
Absolute Batman looking. Like, this guy is big. This is a absolutely ripped Revolution era Cyclops.
Yeah, this is Racer X Cyclops. Chris Pachalo style.
And in what looks to be, but I know is not, impact font, like the meme font, it says Daddy's Home.
Period.
On it.
Why does it say that? It's so stupid.
In the history of X-Men comics, there has nary been a better cover.
It's a choice.
It's one of the best covers that has ever existed. I love it so much. Daddy's Home.
Yeah. I don't love that cover. I do remember really liking this book.
It's Daddy's Home, period. It's so important that there's proper grammar.
Yeah, there's a period there. And I was surprised because, I went back and I was reading this and I was going, oh, but I don't like LaRocca. Like, he's one of my least favorite guys. And yet I was still in on this book. Like, this has such a lot of character. The X-Force lineup here is Cable, Domino, Dr. Nemesis, Forge, Boom Boom, and Colossus is part of the team, but he's pretending that he needs to, well, he's not pretending. He's convinced himself he needs to pay for his crimes as the Phoenix.
Okay, but that's a very Colossus move.
It is.
It's a very Colossus move. Boom Boom is just now joining the team with no real introduction that she's on the team. She just shows up on a jet ski with a bottle of champagne and says, "Boom goes the dynamite." Like, I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
Great.
This is Dennis Hopeless saying, y'all like Next Wave, right? Well, we're gonna take Next Wave Tabby and we are going to put her in a new context, and that is the old context of hanging out with her friends Cable and Domino. And it works really well.
Yeah, Hopeless is also very intelligently got Domino and Colossus together as part of this series, which was something I absolutely loved, and the two of them flirting in this is just still fantastic.
It's a crack pairing. Like, that's insane. Like, okay, I have a cast. How do I give them all individual relationships with one another? And it was like, well, Domino's the only girl. But I don't want her to be Cable's love interest. Because Cable doesn't need a love interest. Who do I pair her with? Well, my options are Forge, and he's bad for women. Dr. Nemesis, and love him to death. Not Dr. Nemesis is not someone that I think has a desire to date.
No.
I think Dr.
Unless
Nemesis
he's dating science.
I think he has carnal desires, don't get me wrong. I just don't think Dr. Nemesis is interested in dating.
No.
Like, and he's cool with it.
Hopeless is smart enough to know that Domino has a type, and this establishes that.
Domino does have a type, and it's big men.
Yeah.
Domino likes a guy who is ripped and has so many muscles, and luckily all of her friends are superheroes.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So Cable can tell the future. He knows that there is an alien that has been imprisoned in the same prison as Colossus, that if they don't break out and give back,
which is Riker's Island. I want to be clear. It's not just it's Riker's Island.
It's very, very weird to do that. If they don't give this alien back to the other species that it's accused of like mass murdering, they're going to just basically destroy Earth. And so they have a prison break.
The Cruel. I don't care about Kiltok the Cruel all that much.
No,
he's whatever.
The reason Cyclops comes into play here is because Cable has to steal a sword spaceship or shuttle or something, and they're breaking out a sword prisoner. And Cyclops just shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's up, son? What you doing? You getting into trouble? Oh, you getting into some trouble? Maybe need some help getting in trouble." It's like
Cyclops is a cool dad. He's not a regular dad. He's a cool dad here. And to me, this makes more sense for Cyclops' relationship. Because one, it's leaning on the very much Marvel marketing branded thing of Cyclops is a revolutionary. Cyclops is a bad boy. No one writes him differently. Bendis doesn't write him differently. Hopeless doesn't. No one writes Cyclops as like actively doing anything different than he normally does.
Yeah.
It's just that he has been painted with this brush by everyone around him. So when he shows up and he's in like this villainous on that cover, he is like a guilty villainous daddy's home thing. And he's casual here. That's an intentional storytelling choice on the entire team. Like from marketing on down of this is how we're going to present the character, but he's still Cyclops and he's still a superhero and he's still like going to be a Marvel brand thing. So we're going to give him a cool edge. Like he is the outlaw version of all this stuff. And it does make Cyclops cooler. I want to be so clear. He does seem very cool when he is fighting authority for the same reasons that he's always fought authority.
It's also I would argue it's not bad parenting,
No.
Because Scott is showing up and he's like, kid, I see that you're doing something that is going to piss off Sword. He's like, do you have a solid understanding of why you want to do this? He's like, absolutely. He's like, Cable's like, I'm in hero mode. I'm going to be saving lives by doing this. And Cyclops is just like, I have faith in you, son. Go ahead and do what you got to do. And that's what's
I want to be clear. Cyclops trusts his son enough to shoot first and then have Nate explain his plan. He's like, I'm already ride or die with you, boy. But while we're doing this, let me in on what's happening. Yeah. I do have some I have some experience on superheroing. I think I would be a really good like sounding board for whatever you're doing. We are stealing a spaceship right now. I assume you have a good reason for that, though.
Yeah.
That's a good Cyclops. That's a good Cyclops bit to be doing here. I like how this comic splits up the entire cast in an interesting way. Because it has Domino going to Colossus to be like, Colossus, you really like get over yourself. You will not get better by being in prison and being forgotten over something that you did, but also Spacebird did, and also you were mostly curing world hunger.
Yeah.
So like, you gambled with some stuff and it all worked out in the end. So it doesn't seem like you did any lasting harm to literally anyone. Mm-hmm. Can you come and help us with this plan? She teams up with Boom Boom, who is a fun little firecracker adding to the mix. You got Dr. Nemesis and forge, having a science off, which is a good place to place both of those characters.
It's a very fun bit that extends through the entire series, and I think works really well.
It works really well here, and it does get. I don't want to say payoff because the story's bad, but like from a arc standpoint, it pays off later in this. Like it is building to something.
Yes.
That's something I think ends up being poorly executed, but that's not the fault of this specific 3 issues. So it gives the whole team something to do so that by the last issue, it all comes together and like you see each piece of the plan and then you see the whole plan gel. And I think that's a really fun way to do a comic like this. Yeah. Like it all does just work at the end.
And we were talking in our Q&A in our 400th episode about forward propulsion. And I just think that this is a great example of that. It's constantly moving forward. You don't quite know how the pieces fit together until they absolutely do. And then at the end of every issue, you've got like something new that's coming up that you know you've got to tune in next issue to find out. At the end of this, we know that Sword is going to try and send the Uncanny Avengers and Havoc to go and talk to Cable and the X-Force. So, you know, constantly moving.
Hey, Havoc, just a hint for you here. Just a hint for you here. If you're taking orders from Abigail Brand, you should at least consider if there are 2 to 12 ulterior motives that she might have for the orders that you are taking. She's not a known trustworthy person. And it does become a running thing through the story about like, the cops, Uncanny X-Force, are coming after, or not Uncanny X-Force, excuse me, the Uncanny Avengers are coming after Cable and X-Force.
Yes.
I like it. It's pretty good. It's not like amazing.
It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but I just want to give credit to where it's due. You know, I've said earlier, I'm big. I drink the haterade when it comes to the LaRocca, but this is kind of like him at a point where I actually don't hate the artwork. I'm involved. I'm ready to, you know, just get down with what he's putting on the page. So it's a far cry from like him tracing,
he does Star Wars in a few years and it's not
Obi-Wan, you know, and whatever that looked like. It's just, he's at a much different place here, and I think it's a lot better.
It is.
The only nitpicky thing I want to say about this story is when Kitty shows up to deliver art supplies to Colossus, that scene rang false to me. I didn't like that.
So what I think is interesting about that, like Kitty shows up and she has like weird feelings about Colossus, which I get, but I want to be clear, like from the end of Astonishing when she's in the Bullet to literally any moment after that, they were like, hey man, maybe actually Kitty and Colossus isn't like a super great romance, and maybe they are messed up characters and they don't fit as well as they should, even if the universe feels compelled to continue to force them together. And I think this is a example on that. Like, I think it would be, at this point in continuity, it'd be weird for there to be no interaction between Cable and or not Cable, excuse me, Kitty and Colossus, but like it acts as like a stagnant, we're not changing anything about their dynamic. So I do question what that scene is really doing for either character.
Yeah, I don't either. We've got the first arc of Cable and X-Force at 297. Not bad. This is better.
I think this is better. I think this is better than that first arc.
I agree. I think it's cooking. We're doing a lot of good stuff here. But how much higher would you go?
Immortal X-Men's first arc is at 265, and while I have qualms with Immortal X-Men's first arc, it's better than this.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm poking around at some stuff. Sabretooth Volume 1 is at 284. That's a good comic. That's a root in fun time here. I think though this is on par with the Rogue miniseries at 293.
I would agree. Better or worse?
Probably a little worse. Probably a little worse than the new X-Men Childhood's End Crusade. like the bus blowing up.
Yeah.
But better than the Tim Seeley Shatterstar series.
I would agree. All right, so this is going to be our new 295.
It's weird that Shatterstar was a landlord, right? Like, he did not collect rent, I assume. I don't
believe that he would, no.
I don't think Shatterstar understands the concept of rent, and that may have been a plot point within that comic. I can't remember.
Sounds about right.
Like, if someone told me that was a plot point in the comic, I'd say, yeah. If someone said, no, that's something you and your friends made up, I'd say, yeah. Both of those are equally likely situations, honestly.
Well, I think we've learned some lessons today. Most importantly, that Cyclops makes a good dad. So who do we have to thank again?
Did we learn that? Hold on. It feels like... I feel like Cyclops... Here's actually my real take. Cyclops is super lucky that he has only adult children.
That does help.
I think Cyclops is a great father to adult children. I cannot imagine Cyclops. I have a 9-year-old right now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Cyclops with a 9-year-old? No, the man's not wired for it. I'm sorry.
Well,
he's so lucky that he has 3 to 5 adult children.
It's true.
In his 20s.
Yeah. The sliding time scale was really helping him out there.
It really is, because he would be a bad father in any other situation. Like, I think that here's really where I think if Cyclops had to raise his children from the ground up like regular people do.
Yeah, he'd be in trouble.
By the time 18 hits, the children resent him so deeply. And then between 18 and 27, the children go through a reckoning of their own and get to know their father in a deeper way and respect him while acknowledging that he made mistakes. And he's acknowledging that he made mistakes. And then they reconcile. That's how I believe Cyclops would actually parent in the real world.
I can get down with that. Now, who do we have to thank for talking about Cyclops as a dad, Zach?
Alexander Lundquist. And I really hope Alexander doesn't have complicated feelings about their father. I just hope no one has complicated feelings about their father. Impossible challenge.
Possible.
Impossible. Luckily, some of the oldest stories in civilization are about that, so we're in good company. It turns out life is weird, and that's one of the few very universal experiences that people have.
It's true.
Adam, what do you got going on?
Let's see. We're still reviewing Uncanny over at Comics XF. I'm doing that with Austin Gordon, and that's about. Oh, I'm still taking. It's the month of August. I'm taking discounted commission requests. So even if you just want a small digital thing, you can go to ko-fi.com/AdamRec and drop a request, a couple bucks. Get a character. I've been doing some fun ones lately, so. I'll add you to the list. Just let me know.
Get some artwork from Adam. He's a great artist. I own none of his stuff.
Maybe it's time, Zach. That's not true. That's not true. I've done multiple pieces of
art.
Artwork. Yeah. What you mean, like a physical piece of artwork or digital?
I don't have any. I have JPEGs. Adam, I have JPEGs upon JPEGs of your art. I don't have anything in the multiple frames that I have sitting around here. And I understand I could go to a Kinko's and make this happen.
Yeah. That part's on you guys. I do the art.
You know what?
You do.
I actually take it all back. You're right, Adam. I will frame that picture that you drew of me as a Wolfman and you as a Dracula and put that somewhere in my room. But until then, folks, this has been Battle of the Atom, and we hope you survived the experience.
Get it!